Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing one of the truly great modern Jaeger-LeCoultre complications. It's the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Tourbillon, a 2006 limited edition of 300 pieces in platinum. You can see and you can purchase this dual-time tourbillon with date on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this and our entire collection of Jaeger-LeCoultre timepieces. Now, the watch on my wrist represents a perfect blend of practicality, romance, precision, and beauty. This is a watch that fits a broad range of wrists. As you can see, my 16-centimeter circumference wrist wears it easily with plenty of room to spare. You can see the strap flaring out on both sides, meaning that the lugs don't overhang my wrist in any way. The bare measurements of the watch mean you could probably wear this timepiece. I'd say a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference can wear its 41.5 millimeter round case. That's not inclusive of the crown from 9 to 3. It is slim. 12.5 millimeters thick means it is as slim as, for example, a Rolex Submariner. It does have a sloped lip to its case flank and its bezel, so it can slide underneath a blazer or suit jacket sleeve as well as the dress cuff beneath. From lug to lug, it is a very reasonable 49.6 millimeters. So again, if you can wear a 40mm modern supercase Rolex on a bracelet, you can wear this without any difficulty. Now, it is a hefty watch. The lugs are massive, and as you can see, with lugs so deep, so tall, and so wide, this watch in platinum is an absolute pleasure. It weighs a ton. Not a burdensome ton, but the ton that reassures you that you've bought something of real substance. Now, the watch also features a white gold double folding clasp. 2006, the year this watch was made, was the first year of the Jaeger-LeCoultre double folding clasp, and because the components are smaller than they were in the original single fold, they use a harder 18-karat white gold alloy rather than platinum to maintain the structural integrity. It also works well on a smaller wrist. I have the single fold platinum clasp on my tourbillon, and I can tell you every once in a while I do pinch my wrist with it. This is far less likely to pinch the wrist. It's easier to close in two small steps than one big up and over fold. It also has a wonderful curved chassis, so it traces the arc of the underside of your wrist. The strap is substantial. It is sort of anthracite gray. It's a very dark gray stitch, bolstered, folded edge, monotone stitch strap with a calfskin underlay for souplesse against your wrist. The case is all in high polish, and this is a very versatile case. I own the exact same case in my Master Grand Memovox, also of platinum. It has deep lugs, it has a brutality to it that you may not expect in a dress watch, and part of that is a legacy of the case's use in sports watches, including the Master Compressor series of the early to mid 2000s. So there's a little bit of sports watch DNA in both the movement and the case of this one. More on the movement in a moment. Let's talk about the dial. The bezel, thankfully, is minimized to open up the dial, to let it breathe, to let its many different calibrations and scales, as well as the immense tourbillon cage, take pride of place. Now, outboard you have a Rayhaut that slopes down and steps just before it reaches the main dial, so a visual transition from the bezel down to the plane of the dial. You can see that it bears the calibrations for the radial date, and that there is a large jump from the 15th to the 16th across the tourbillon cage. Now, what's special about that? Well, the watch is designed to avoid obscuring your view of the tourbillon. So during the jump through 15 to 16, in the course of a single night, the radial date indicator is engineered to jump over the tourbillon cage, so you never have anything obscuring the tourbillon except the briefest overlap of the minute hand, and we can even move that out of the way. Now, you'll note that the dial features all applied and diamond polished white gold double Arabics 9 and 3 along with faceted dart style indices. There is a small amount of superluminova on the dial, so again, the watch does have a little bit of a sports watch sensibility in style and engineering, so too in the use of lume on what would otherwise be considered a dress watch. Now, you'll note that the hands at center are not the somewhat heavy and cumbersome Dauphine often used on dress watches, but a pinched and decidedly more aggressive arrow-shaped alpha profile, which I enjoy immensely. Now, of course, the 12 to 6 axis contains almost all of the action on this watch, starting with a double dart index at 12 o'clock, continuing to the 24-hour dial that represents your second time zone. You can see two separate guilloches, one which is a sunray, one which is a lateral ribbed type of etching, separate the day and the night sections of the 24-hour subdial. By pulling the crown to the intermediate detent, you can set the local hour independently. And again, the local hour will not just drive the date, it will drive the date backwards or forwards as you cross the international date line. A consummate traveler's complication, that's the practical aspect along with the automatic winding of this rather romantic tribute to watchmaking lore and heritage. Now, the romance is all in the tourbillon cage at 6 o'clock. It's a 28,800 vibration per hour escapement. It's both free-sprung, so they can better take and hold a precise regulation even in the face of vibrations or bumps. What you can't quite see is that it features a unique sort of side saddle arrayed anchor with pallet stones indexing the escape wheel. Not so much inline as you'd see on a conventional Swiss lever. It's sort of set off to the side so the two can be drawn closer into the center of the tourbillon cage, reducing its moment of inertia and centralizing its mass. Now, it also features an overcoil hairspring, so in addition to the tourbillon's quality of evening out the effect of gravity by continuously rotating the escapement on the wrist, you also have the concentric beating properties of the overcoil, the two features working in concert to make this a very precise watch. Now, before I talk to you about just how precise, let me emphasize that here the standard of finish is higher than what you get on a standard Jaeger-LeCoultre automatic. You see a great deal of hand-laid anglage and beautiful mirror polishing about components, from the screws used to assemble the tourbillon cage, which are immaculately polished and then heat blued, that is heat oxidized. And also there is an immense amount of hand finish on the bow tie shaped bridge for the tourbillon cage. You'll also get the same level of finish on the case back, where if you look closely you can see, as I rotate the movement towards the camera, there is a thin mirrored hand-laid anglage on the edge of all the bridges. So although this movement has its roots in sports watch calibers that are industrially finished, this example is finished by hand, both in the jewel sinks and on the narrow, true rounded mirror anglage at the edge of each bridge. All of the screws, of course, heat oxidized. Now let's talk about precision. In the 2009 International Concours Chronometric, there were a number of ultra haute de gamme contestants, including two from Jaeger-LeCoultre. One, the steel version of this watch, the Master Tourbillon in steel, same caliber 978, same level of finish, adjusted by the artisans of the Valet du Jeu at Le Sentier. It was JLC's second entry in the competition, alongside the flagship Gyro Tourbillon 2, while the watches finished first and second in the competition, and first went to the humble Master Tourbillon caliber that you see here, which had an annualized deviation rate of less than, are you ready for this? 1/5 of a second per day, less than 1 minute per year. That is the kind of precision that would challenge the new Dayfi Lab or even a standard quartz watch. Incredibly impressive. It was achieved with this watch, a mechanical, with a tourbillon. Anyone who tells you that a tourbillon has no place in precision within a wristwatch, that it has no role in timekeeping post-pocket watch, is absolutely wrong. The best from the likes of Jaeger-LeCoultre and Grubel-Forsey can go toe-to-toe with any watch, any mechanical watch, and even some quartz in the realm of precision. Let's talk about the nuts and bolts though, because there's more to know and more to love. 33 joules automatic winding. It is a unidirectional winding system, highly efficient with ceramic rotor bearings for long-wearing durability and improved winding efficiency. 48-hour power reserve. The watch features a rather thick caliber at over 7 millimeters thick, which bodes well for its durability. The thicker the caliber, the tougher in general. All of it regulated via the 1,000 hours test. And again, some 1,000 hour tests involve a higher degree of precision. A little bird told me that it's actually no worse than +4, -1 for this particular movement, which is darn impressive and far better than the COSC. Moreover, the 1,000 hours control is a fully cased-up test of resistances, chronometric performance, power reserve, winding efficiency, and the timepiece bears 5 ATM or 50 meter water resistance, which is superb for a dress watch, which is typically for instance, 223 ATM. This one is 5. Impressively executed with a gorgeous sunburst-style ruthenium dial. You can see and own the Champ on our website.